Hello everyone, I'm happy to see everybody back today. We are in the seventh session of our group and it's almost coming to an end. At the previous meeting, Chelsea, you were the only one who spoke up that said that you wanted to share something and you didn't get to at that meeting. So would you elaborate more for me?
Yes, I just wanted to get off my shoulders that me and my boyfriend actually got in a fight that week, and it was just really bothering me. And I feel that within this group, I would be able to talk about like the fight, and that it would be okay to share that. And so like during the fight, like we just got in a huge argument over the planner, and we were working on communication, and it just blew up, and we just started screaming at each other, and it was just not good. And it ended up that I just left and went to my mom's house because it was such a big deal.
Okay, so I did see that, you did use some of the techniques that we went over, like, for class last week. You did bleed before it got worse. So that is great that it did bleed. Is everything okay now?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's good, and I'm sorry that we didn't get around to it yet last week, but I'm glad we got to it this week. Does anybody else feel that they had something that they wanted to say last week, but they didn't get to? Okay. Well, last week, some of the homework that I wanted you to do was to use the techniques that I talked about. And that was taking deep breaths, counting to 10, looking at how the other person feels before you say anything. Think about what you say before you say it. And also, the main golden rule that I said is mean what you say, but just don't say it mean. How has those techniques helped you throughout the week with your communications?
It's really helped me, especially the say what you mean, but don't say it mean. I can be a little nasty at times, so keeping that in mind has allowed me to think more before I say something to my boyfriend, and I was able to say it nicer, and he really appreciated that.
Okay.
I was able to use the golden rule as well as think before you speak. That really hit home after we got in our fight or whatever, and so that really helped. But what something that didn't help as much was like counting to 10. Like I felt that for me counting to 10, it made it even worse because I was thinking about it even more, and it made me blow up even more. So like that wasn't so good, but I used other techniques that were a lot better.
Yeah, I think for me, biggest thing was thinking before I speak and then trying to say things in a nicer way instead of being so rude and hateful about it. But I still feel like that even though I tried those things, I still didn't get the results, I guess, that I was looking for.
Okay.
One of the techniques I tried using that didn't work out the best was thinking before you speak. It's typically when I have something pop up in my head, it just comes right out, and I just don't really care if it offends anyone. It just, it just comes out. And so I've been trying to work on that more because sometimes it can be offensive, and I don't want to insult my boyfriend. But the other technique that I used was to try to see things from his perspective instead of just mine. I just, whenever he has ideas or, whatever, I just try to take into account what he's saying and, really think about that instead of like thinking about myself at all, so.
Okay.
Like you said, I really think that what worked was I thought in his shoes before mine. So when he kind of would say something to me, I stopped and kind of took a deep breath and just kind of took in what he was saying, and okay, I can understand why you got mad about that. No, I think that really helped for me because I wasn't as angry, like I said I was like a couple weeks ago. Because that's the major issue. I just get mad at what he said and not listen. So I think the techniques we learned last week really helped me.
Okay, so I do see that the techniques are improving your relationship with your partner, correct? Except for Mariah, you had a little bit of difficulty where it wasn't going as well. So could you tell me a little bit more about that?
I mean, I tried, the counting to 10 thing really wasn't for me, but I had a tendency, like they were saying, to just say whatever comes to mind, just, so I can get my way, because I feel that, I mean, even if I do talk to him, it's like he doesn't necessarily listen, or he will get mad if, things aren't going his way exactly. And I'm kind of just stuck at the moment.
Okay. So would you tell me how your boyfriend would answer to you with communication? Like, what does he say, or what does he do whenever you're trying to sit down and communicate with him?
I mean, usually we'll talk about it, and, I'll have everything laid out that needs to be done that week, and he'll kind of get upset with me because, he wanted to do something on, let's say, like Thursday, and I had school that day and classes, and then, I told him about it, and it was like he really didn't, or I don't know if I didn't communicate it right, but it was like he kind of got upset that I wasn't, like, spending as much time with him as normal, but.
Are there some things that you want to say to him, but you can't because you just know that he's just gonna, like, put it in one ear and out the other and not listen to anything that you say?
Yeah, a lot of the times I'll, just kind of hold back what I want to say because I'm not real sure how he would react, but.
Okay, well, would you feel comfortable doing a role play with somebody in the group? So maybe you can do the techniques and then try to have a better communication skill with your boyfriend. Would you feel comfortable, like, with anybody?
Yeah, I think I could do that.
Okay, and who would you feel most comfortable with?
Probably Aries. We seem to have a lot in common.
Okay, so would you, Eris, do you mind if, okay. So, if you don't mind, just talk to Eris as she is your boyfriend and just explain to her, like, what you want to get at. Like, what are the things that you're holding back that you want to tell? And use the techniques of counting to 10, deep breathing, or.
I mean, I would just, want him to know that, we're going to have to work together in order to effectively manage our time. And we're going to have better communication, because right now I feel that I'm the only one communicating and, him not so much. And I feel that if we were to maybe communicate a little bit more, or maybe if I could get him to try some of these techniques that I've learned, maybe our relationship would be a little bit more, I guess, trusting and open. Because right now I don't know, like, I don't feel like he's completely understanding me. And I just wish that I could tell him that. But if I tell him that he's not understanding me, then, it's like, he just won't even listen.
Okay. So, would you, Eris, as her boyfriend, want to know about the techniques? Like, would that help your communication and your relationship, Mariah? Do you think that if he was to learn about these techniques and listen to what the techniques actually mean, that your communication, your relationship will have a stronger bond?
Yeah, I really do think that, if he was to, like, understand kind of more what I'm understanding now, that we would have a better relationship.
And since you're role playing him, do you feel if you were to learn the techniques of him, that it would be better as well?
I do, because I think within my own relationship, I kind of expect my boyfriend to read my mind, know why I'm upset, know what's going on. But I think by just this experience, like you telling me like what you have on your mind, I didn't know that before. So it kind of like gives me a better insight of what you're actually upset about, instead of just all the, I guess, the big things.
And that kind of, I'm glad that you said that, because that kind of helped me realize that maybe it wasn't that he wasn't listening, maybe I just wasn't, like, saying everything, like he just didn't know. So that is good that she said that.
Okay, so did it help you today vent out some things, what you wanted to say?
Yeah, it helped kind of get that off my shoulders, and I'm glad, because I kind of got, her point of view, like, from my boyfriend, and I kind of now realize that, maybe it wasn't that, he wasn't listening, maybe just I wasn't completely communicating as much as I should be.
Well, as this group is coming to an end, I do know that communication is an effective way to have a healthy relationship. I myself do all the techniques with my significant other, and I do encourage everybody in this group to, take these techniques and take them outside of this group when we leave this group session, because it will help you tremendously to grow as a person and also to grow with your individual, like with your significant other, with your family. So it will have a better bond. And I do want to say, is there anything else that maybe we can talk about with homework suggestions, since next week is the last week? Like, what all have you all gained or retained about this group, or what you might want to learn more about?
I think I've gained a lot from hearing everybody else's situation, because I don't feel alone anymore. I don't feel like just my relationship's bad and that like we have timing issues and we don't talk right. I like hearing everyone's situation too as well. It's really helped me a lot. I think I can use those techniques that like she's tried that I haven't to maybe incorporate in my relationship.
I think that like I really gained like working with my boyfriend and scheduling things and like learning how to better communicate as well as spending quality time with each other. And I think like this group has helped me like to open up and find someone, besides people in the group to trust, as well as gaining our friendships even more when the group is ending, that I can call on one of them and be able to talk about a situation and like know what to do or help them as well. So I think it's like helped with that, as well as with me and my boyfriend. It's gotten a lot better.
Okay. Anybody else want to share before we close the group?
I agree. I just learned from hearing everybody else's share their story, and it's helped a lot with when I reflect on my relationship with my boyfriend, some things we can do to make it better.
Okay, so the last homework assignment that I want to give to you all, in your journal, I want you to write down, how are you going to carry these communication techniques that you've learned out into the real world after these groups? Is that okay? All right, well, we'll see you all next Tuesday. You all have a great night. Thank you.